My name is Peter Lindeman and I'm with Tesla Chargers, and today we're going to be talking about our big industrial 12-volt charger called the 24A12. This is the big heavy-duty 12-volt charger. Can deliver up to 30 amps continuous, and at 12 volts that's about 350 watts continuous. This is a pretty small battery for what this is. This thing can handle, if you want to show the big L16s and big solar systems, that kind of thing. Batteries even larger than golf cart type, and 500 amp hour and above for this type of charger. But it's also safe to be used on smaller batteries, and I'll show you how it behaves on a smaller battery so we can see again the topping event. This charger has a number of modes. It has the standard red and green lights that all of our chargers have, and has very similar activity to the other chargers we've shown. But this also has a yellow light, which you don't really want to see come on, and that's the light that indicates an overload condition. And that overload condition shows up if the charger is being asked to deliver more than 32 amperes for over 2 or 3 minutes at a time. And at that point, the overload system comes on to protect the circuitry of the charger, and also to protect the battery so that it isn't charging too fast. And then it will go through a timing sequence, and it will reset itself so that it'll give you a chance to change the conditions of the charge so that the charging rate is slower and lower, and it'll give the battery a chance to cool off a bit. So what I want to do is I want to demonstrate this charger, and first of all it has an on-off switch, and when you turn the power on, it has its own cooling fan, which you can hear in the background, and it has these pretty large industrial clamps. If you don't have an exercise system, you can use this as a double for getting your hands to be stronger. But this is not a capacitor discharge machine, and this is safe to connect the outputs, because it won't turn on until it senses that there's a battery there. So what I want to do is I want to put this on this battery, and immediately what we see is that the voltage of the battery shows up on the meter. Okay, so this has a built-in meter, and I've got this other clamp-on meter here. This is and it's set up in amperes, so it's going to show how much current is moving through when I turn the charger on. So the charger is then turned on when I flip this switch, and so here's what happens. As soon as I flip it on, the red light comes on, which shows that it's charging. And again, like I said before, this battery is pretty close to fully charged, because what I want to demonstrate is the topping event, so that you can see what happens at the end of the charge, so you can see what happens with the lights and the full functions of the charger. But we can see here now that it's been delivering about 15 amps, 14.8, as it slowly drops as the voltage rises. We're down to about 14.5 amperes. So we're getting up to a plateau here at about 14, but it continues to rise. Now this battery charger is excellent for getting the highest number of life cycles out of these big type of batteries for solar systems and other electric vehicles. And typically the way those batteries are treated in those applications they are lucky to give you 200 or 300 cycles before the battery really stops being able to provide its full current for the day. And the reason for that is that standard charging systems usually pretty much stop charging. We're at 14.5 right now, and that's probably pretty close to where most chargers would shut off and not let the battery chemistry be resolved beyond that. But this, like all of the other chargers from Energetics and the chargers that we sell through Tesla Chargers, these are what we call topping chargers. These allow the voltage of the battery to be raised to where the chemistry of the battery can actually finish, where all the sulfate ions are out of the plates and back into the electrolyte. And that doesn't happen until you get the voltages just a little bit higher than 14.5. So this type of charger is excellent for rejuvenating or taking batteries that have been chronically undercharged and bringing them back to full service by being able to top the chemistry. Now, the battery rejuvenation process involves a number of topping charges and then discharges and topping charges and then deeper and deeper discharges until you can resolve all of the sulfation that's left in the plates. So here you can see we're up to 14.76 now, and we're down to about 11 amps. So we've been putting power into this pretty continuously, and again, there's really no heat being generated by the battery. And so we're just about up to, we're about 14.8 right here. And now you can start seeing, if you come up here, you can start seeing that this green light is starting to flash. Okay? So anything above about 14.8, and now the machine is starting to roll the currents off. And now you can start seeing the green light getting brighter. Okay? So it's starting to flash rather fast. And so we can see that we're moving into the rolling off process. But here, let me, even though we're charging the battery pretty strongly, I can show you that there's just almost no off-gassing. Even at these voltages with these high currents, there's almost no off-gassing in this battery under these conditions. So this is a completely safe process to do. So now we're about 15.14, 15. We've got a good green light. We've got a good red light, and so we can see that we're still delivering 8.25 amps though, and but we're approaching a topping event here, and again, still no heat, no significant off-gassing at voltages above 15 volts. So you sure wouldn't want to do this with anybody else's charger. The dang battery would be boiling away. So now what we just saw, we saw the transition. The red light is out, okay, and the green light is on solid. So it's basically saying that we're in the finishing mode, but the current meter is still telling us that we're still delivering over 6 amps, but this is now in a rapid pulse situation. So this is what we call the desulfation mode, where we're giving it high voltage spikes to keep hunting down those sulfate crystals in the plates. But we're really not trying to push the voltage any higher than this. So you can see that the voltage is staying pretty steady at 15.24. The green light is on steady, and now the currents are dropping below 5 amperes. So this is what the finishing event looks like for any battery, and it'll do this on this battery safely. It'll do it on those batteries safely, all these bigger batteries, and This is, again, this is our big industrial charger, and it's called the 24A12 by Energenics, and it can be used as a large-scale industrial rejuvenator. And if you want to learn more about the science and art of battery rejuvenation, just go to teslachargers.com and you'll find an advertisement for a product called Battery Secrets. You can just click on that icon on the right column, and it will take you to a page that will tell you all about these products. There's over 3 hours of instruction on how to understand what's going on in batteries and how to use this type of topping charge equipment and the process that we call battery rejuvenation to bring batteries back to life. So again, this is the 24A12 by Energenics. My name's Peter Lindemann, and this is Tesla Chargers. My name's Peter Lindemann, and I'm with Tesla Chargers, this type of charger. But it's also safe to be used on smaller batteries, and I'll show you how it behaves on a smaller battery so we can see again the topping event. This charger has a number of modes. It has the standard red and green L16s and big solar systems, that kind of thing. Batteries even larger than golf cart type, and so 500 amp hour and above at 12 volts that's about 350 watts continuous. This is a pretty small battery for what this is. This thing can handle, if you want to show the big, and today we're going to be talking about our big industrial 12 volt charger called the 24A12. This is the big heavy duty 12 volt charger, can deliver up to 30 amps continuous, and